and switch on my camera soon.
No problem. Absolutely no problem. We just wanted to see your face and say hello to you.
Hi. Thank you so much for making me
Thank you.
part of this meeting today.
At the end of the meeting, I am going to be having a chat with you. So hopefully by then you would have settled down and relaxed and enjoyed the entire meeting.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that for the end of the meeting.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I want to also take this opportunity to thank all our Toastmasters from other clubs for being present here. Our very own Toastmaster Aditya, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, our um, guests who are rather our patrons who are always there to support us through our meetings. So thank you so much for being there. And we then have a new member as well. And I'm very, very excited to have this new member on board. She did attend a couple of our meetings. So she is not a new face to us, but now she's going to be TM Rimsey. But
I'll
before
rename
that,
myself.
yeah, we have a process to follow. Before you have the TM tag on you, we have a small little process that we follow. And it's a formality that we do for every new member before the induction of the new member as part of the club. I would request Toastmaster Sai to have a breakup room during. I will let you know what we would be doing. So we would be
Sure.
taking you to the breakup room, and you will be along with one of our club members while we check on with the rest of the members in the meeting whether they are good enough, whether they are good with you joining the club.
Sure.
And then we will have you, when we have the required votes, we have you come back to the meeting, and then we will have an introduction by you to the team members.
Sure. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Cynthia, I have a couple of things to add to that. The room is the breakout room, not the breakup room. I don't want Rimsey to get the wrong idea.
No problem.
Sangeeta, do you mind if I put you in the breakout room along with Rimsey, because just to give her company? Okay, cool. So Rimsey, I'm going to request you to join one of the rooms. I'm going to assign you to assign to new member room.
Hello.
And now, how do I put in the, how do I assign Sangeeta Shruti? Okay, there it is. Sangeeta Shruti? Right. So Cynthia, both are Rimsey and Sangeeta Shruti have moved to the breakout room.
I'm having a little bit of a problem with my audio.
I'm
just disconnecting and joining back.
Okay, no problem. So while Cynthia is away for a few seconds, I'm going to spotlight myself so that at least you have some not so pleasant things to look at. And we can continue our discussion, Aditya, if you want, or we can wait for Cynthia, whichever you prefer. It's like no more discussion about vegetables. Deepak, Rishiraj, welcome. I'm so happy to have you guys. All right, Cynthia is almost back.
Hey, sir.
Where is Cynthia's video?
Hello.
Hey, Cynthia. Your video's on. Let me spotlight you. Yep, all yours.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. What did you just say? I missed that.
I said you can continue. The spotlight is on you.
I'm having some problem with my audio. I am not able to hear anything.
You want me to do this? You want me to do the induction?
Yeah, could you please do that?
Yep.
Because I can't hear properly. Just a minute.
No worries. All right. So as is protocol at BKC Fireflies, we have a little bit of a process in which, using which we induct people into the club. The process goes something like this: that I will first move that we invite Rimsi to join our club, and then I'll need someone to second that. And the people who are here, among the people who are here, the people who can second this motion is Niyamat and Cynthia herself. Once that's done, I'll just leave it open for people to say yes or no. If they have anybody protest, then we can have a discussion. Otherwise, we'll just close the breakout room and ask Rimsi to come back. So I move that we invite guest Rimsi to join BKC Fireflies Toastmasters Club. Do I have a second?
Yes, go ahead. Let's have him.
No, you have to say it formally. I second the motion.
Oh God, I second the motion. Please bring him.
I don't make the rules. I'm not a parliamentarian. I'm just telling you what you need to say. Thank you so much. Is there anyone who objects to Rimsi joining Toastmasters? I'm going to count to three. 3, 2, 1. Having heard no objections, I'm going to invite, on behalf of Toastmasters, I'm going to invite Rimsi to join BKC Fireflies Toastmasters online club. And let me reassign Rimsi back to the main room. And when Rimsi is here, I would ask everyone to please applaud her entry into BKC Fireflies. Let me spotlight Rimsi. She's here. Rimsi, I'm going to spotlight you so that we can all cheer for you. Yay! Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay in closing the breakout room because there was a technical issue, but I'm glad you're joining BKC Fireflies. And if you have anything to share with us, please go ahead.
I'll quickly introduce myself. First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm very grateful. I attended one meeting before as a guest, and since then it's been like a month or two, I think, and I've turned 20 and I have completed my semester exams. So that has been new. So yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be a part of BKC Fireflies.
Amazing. And where are you located? Are you in Mumbai?
I'm in Thane. Yeah.
Thane. Okay, cool. So nice. All right. So thank you so much for joining us, Rimsi. Happy to have you. Cynthia, do you want to take the control back, or do you want me to hand it over to the TMOD? But I'll do it then. Sorry. Thank you, Rimsi. Our Toastmaster of the day, where did he disappear? Oh man, our Toastmaster is also having some traveling issues. So we're going to kill some time until we have our Toastmaster of the day back in the meeting. So the technical issue, Rimsi, that you were not aware of was that Cynthia was having some audio issues. And that is why we had to figure out who's going to take the meeting forward after this. We're waiting for our Toastmaster of the day to join the meeting because he was traveling while the meeting was getting started. So it's going to take a few minutes for him to join the meeting. Until then, we can maybe interact with Rishi Raj, let me add you to the spotlight. We can talk to you for a few minutes. Which club are you with, Rishi Raj?
Hello everyone. Am I audible? Just
Yes.
want to check. Okay. Yes, I am from Khagar Toastmasters Club. I am currently serving as the executive committee I'm the vice president of public relations at my club.
I see.
So I just saw the message. I thought, why not just try it out an online club?
Right.
I'm not experienced at going to an online club, so I just decided let's go there.
Right. And we have a long relationship with Cargo Toastmasters. So a long time ago, one of your presidents he used to attend our meetings and we got to know each other pretty well. So it's always good to see someone else from Cargo Toastmasters joining these meetings. Welcome.
Thank you.
Right. Let's see if Deepak is there. Deepak, can I spotlight you also?
Hi, Sai.
So let me quickly introduce Deepak because he and I are part of the same online open mic that happens on Wednesdays. And a little secret about Deepak is that given a choice between a beautiful date and biryani, he says he'd prefer biryani. I don't know. That's what he says. So Deepak, tell us a bit about yourself and what brought you to this meeting, apart from me bullying you, dragging you to the meeting.
Thank you, Sai. So basically, I'm from Chennai and I'm part of Chennai Communicators Club for close to 2.5 years. And I played various XCOM roles. And I know the pain of Sai because I was playing a VP role before to take nominations for role players. And after that, I moved to Mumbai for a job purpose, and I joined the Powai Toastmasters Club, and I visited a couple of clubs. And one thing is that we have a group for the D98 club. I see a lot of messages from Sai, something information. And once what happened in an open mic, we have WhatsApp forum. Again, I saw the same name. He have a different, unique WhatsApp name, right? I saw the name. Oh my God, what is he doing over here? So then I was not part of open mic for quite some time. After seeing his name, I just got into the particular meeting and I was interacting with Sai. Then I introduced. See, we say Toastmasters is not only for communication; it also helps us in networking too. Okay, and primary it helps me more in networking, and I able to connect with Sai. Just it take me like couple of seconds in a jiffy. This Sai, I know if you're from this. That gives us a lot of connects. So in such a way, I'm able to connect. I'm attending a lot of online meetings to get connected with people. And it's pleasure meeting most of you people over here. And nice thanks, Sai, for pulling me into this conversation. Yes, I'm going to have a great time over here. Thanks, Sai.
Thank you so much. And he's absolutely right. So it's a bit of a homecoming for Deepak, because he was part of D98. Now he's in the Chennai district, but he was part of D98 at some time. And I appreciate the fact that networking and building relationships become so much simpler with Toastmasters. So Rimsi, people who are from other different parts of India who get together on meetings like this, it's a great way to build a connection and friendships with people from other parts of the world. I don't think our TMOD is here yet, which is why I am blabbering on and on. So what I will do now is, Srishti, are you back online? So maybe you can chat with you.
Hi, I am Shrishti Singh.
Wait,
Yeah.
if you give me a second to spotlight you, because that way people can see you also. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Shrishti. So this is my second interaction with Toastmasters. The first one was again online with Gurgaon Toastmasters 2 years back during COVID. And I live in Gurgaon. At present, as you can see my jacket, I am in Delhi. The temperature is not as low as it was last year, but yeah. And I'm very excited to join this meeting and observe how the proceedings go on. And obviously learn from it and interact with all of you.
You know, one thing that would complete the look,
Yeah.
gas mask, or at least an N95 mask. Without
Yeah.
that, I don't know if it's Delhi, it could be Delhi, it could be some hill station somewhere, who knows.
Yeah.
But you put that N95 or your gas mask, I said, yes, this has to be
Yeah.
done.
Yes.
How's the pollution? Is it getting better? How's it there?
No,
How's
it's
it in Gurgaon?
bad. It's bad. Like just while I just came from metro, so while traveling, I was talking to my mother that I can literally smell diesel in the air, even though they have stopped all diesel vehicles. So the environment is not very good over here, but all of us are very acclimatized to it. So not many people are wearing masks, unfortunately.
That's scary
Yeah.
too. I'm
Yeah.
sure children and old people are most affected by this.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it sucks. All right, thank you so much for joining us, though. And I'm hoping things get better in Delhi and the surrounding areas quickly. And how did you get to know Aditya if you're in Gurgaon? Or is that like some office friendship?
So Aditya is my senior. We both studied in same college, Institute of Rural Management, Anand. So he has been very supportive throughout my college journey. And we recently met after 2 years, and he was telling me all these good things about Toastmasters. So I requested him if I can attend one of the meeting, and he very kindly allowed me today. So I'm very excited to be part of this session.
That's one thing I hear about Aditya all the time, that he's super supportive and friendly.
He is, and he's very he doesn't keep all his intelligence to himself. He likes to share it with his juniors and friends. And yeah, that thing I really like about him.
So kind of you people, but it looks like I am becoming the theme of today's meeting, but no.
Not yet. I'm just waiting for the TMO to show up. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But it's nice, right? That you're still in, first of all, you're still in touch with your people who came after you in college, which is surprising. But I have good news. You can stop listening to me, and our TMO is going to join in literally how much ever time it takes for him to get into the meeting. Shubhayan, I'm going to give you a count of 5, after which I'm going to hand over the meeting to you. I'm going to count till 1. This video is still off. 2. Still off. 3. 4. 5. I don't think Shubhayan is ready yet. But yes, that's, like I was saying, it's been every time anybody says anything about Aditya, it's always a positive thing, which is kind of cool. So, except when he's opposed to my vegetable idea, in which case I don't appreciate that. Shubhayan, can you also turn on your video, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen, the man you've all been eagerly awaiting is here.
Blurred. Just give me 1 second.
Huh. Yes, much better. Shubhayan, the meeting is all yours. And you're on mute if you need to unmute yourself.
Yep. Thanks, Sai. So, good evening, everyone. I think a little bit late, running a little bit late, which is not exactly what you would expect, but meetings got to go on. So, just an FYI, I'm joining from my phone, which is a bit unconventional for the team one, but my laptop is giving last-minute hiccups, so please bear with me. Yeah, so today's session is one which is particularly something which is close to my heart. It's about first impressions. They say that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. But in fact, something which happened with me today itself, I was attending this event at work, and I met this senior leader for the first time, and I had already heard a certain few rumors, and even you can say pretty solid facts about this person. And he came off as someone totally different when I met him face to face. But in my mind, I had already made up that, okay, I know this person and this person is going to be like this. So then let me ask you this. How many times has your first impressions of someone been completely wrong? Anyone willing to answer this? Very short.
Many a times.
I can give an example right now.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Sai.
So when I first heard Rimsi's accent, I thought she's from somewhere in the States. But then she said Thane. So right there, that impression was
Okay, I'll tell you something. So I actually used to live in Korea up until 10th grade, and then I moved here, which is why the accent,
I see.
yeah, it keeps coming back.
Okay, great. So you have some live case studies right here in this meeting itself. So that's what this meeting is going to be about. That's the theme of this meeting. First impressions. They are very powerful, but not always the full story. In this meeting, we'll be exploring how first impressions shape our interactions and how Toastmasters helps us refine these impressions that we leave on others, whether it is through our speeches, leadership, or even in life. So basically, to start off the evening, I had a fun little activity, and I'd not call it an activity, but it's some fun trivia facts that I myself have noted in my preparation for this topic. So let me ask you the first question. How long do you think it takes to form a first impression?
5
Any
seconds.
takers? Sorry, Sai?
5 seconds.
Wow, you're really close. So basically, research shows that 7 seconds is approximately how much time you'll need to judge someone's trustworthiness, competence, and confidence. And you do this without even realizing that you're doing it. Another fun fact. What do you think is the percentage of first impressions which goes just on the basis of appearance? As in, like, how many people do you think out of 100 will judge people just based on appearance, will form their first impression?
I want to say 100%.
Okay. So, just a fun tidbit here. According to Albert Mehrabian's communication model, 55% of communication is solely visual. So anything which comes off visually, like appearance, body language, etc. And only 7% is verbal. The rest, 38%, depends on your tone. So if you add it up, 55 plus 7, 62, 62 plus 38, 100%. This is how you form like an impression. So you can see like more than 50% of an impression can be formed just on the basis of appearance alone. So yeah, maybe it's not 100%, but that's definitely a figure which kind of struck me. And I felt that it was important to share that. Let me give you a biology question. Which part of the brain do you think is active when you're forming first impressions? This one is slightly tricky because you would have to have a knowledge of the brain's, what should I say, anatomy to be able to.
Prefrontal cortex?
Uh, I was looking for an answer more specific because the prefrontal cortex is not exactly a very specific part of the brain, but I'll give you the exact answer. But thank you for trying, whoever that was. The exact part of the brain which forms first impressions.
Temporal? Is it temporal?
No, it's not the temporal lobe.
Hindbrain.
It's also no. It's the amygdala. So the amygdala is basically responsible for processing your emotions and social signals, particularly social signals. So they play a very key role in evaluating new people and situations also. So yeah, these were some very fun facts that I came across when I Googled give me facts about first impressions. And also incidentally, since I'm a student of literature, or was a student of literature, I mean, I am once a student of literature, always a student of literature. So basically, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the novel Pride and Prejudice. Does anyone has read the novel or know of what it involves? So if you haven't, it's just basically to give you a context. It's a story about this aristocratic man named Mr. Darcy, and he comes across this somewhat middle-class woman, Elizabeth, and it's their love story. So basically, when these two people meet, they're poles apart. They're from different classes of society itself, and they instantly form first impressions about the other person. Elizabeth thinks Darcy is too prideful and somewhat arrogant, and Mr. Darcy thinks that Elizabeth is too prejudiced. That's the name of the novel, is also Pride and Prejudice. But incidentally, throughout the novel, they both go on to revise their first impressions about each other. So they both realize that their first impressions were not the whole picture, as we just witnessed a few minutes ago as well. Incidentally, Jane Austen, the author of the novel, had also titled the story as First Impressions before she decided on the final title as Pride and Prejudice. So I just felt like pointing out this fact as well because I'm a student of literature and I just love that novel and it's one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, I think with that sets the tone for the theme of the evening. And with that, we'll move into the first section of a General Toastmasters meeting, which is the prepared speeches. So now we'll have participants come up and prepare and deliver their prepared speech on the topics that they have chosen. And before I do that, I will hand the stage over to the general evaluator to introduce the tag team who will be taking part in this meeting. So over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. The CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, always says that everyone should be in a feedback loop. It means that every employee of the organization should be time and again told what to improve and how to improve. But the most important question is why to improve. That motivates every employee to continuously improve and add value to the organization. As a general evaluator, my role is to provide general feedback about the entire meeting. And in this Herculean task, I have a tag team supporting me. And it's time for me to invite the tag team players for today's meeting to describe their roles. First, I would like to welcome the timer of today's meeting. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Sai as the timer. Over to you.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. My role as a timer is to let people know how they're doing on the time allotted for their speech roles and whatever they're doing in the meeting. If you have a speaking role, you usually have an allotted amount of time that's given to you. When you've met the minimum allotted time for your speaking role, my background will turn green, like I'm showing right now. When you hit the middle point, it'll turn yellow. And when you've hit the maximum allotted time, it'll turn red. And it'll stay red until a grace period, which is added on to the maximum allotted time, is over, and it'll stay red until the end of your speech. For different speaking slots, for different speaking roles, the timing allotted is different, but you should watch my background to see where you are on that allotted timeline. For the prepared speeches, it's 5 to 7 minutes. For table topics, it is 1 to 2 minutes. And for evaluations, it's 2 to 3 minutes, with 30 seconds of grace in all three after the allotted time, which means that you can speak up to 7.5 minutes or up to 2.5 minutes for table topics and up to 3.5 minutes for evaluations. But on the lower side, for the prepared speeches and the evaluations, there's 30 seconds of grace on the lower side as well, which means that if your time allotted, the minimum time that you have to speak is 5 minutes, you can actually finish your speech in 4 minutes and 30 seconds or a little bit more in order to qualify for the voting for the best speaker for the evening. And similarly for evaluations, if the allotted time is 2 to 3 minutes, you can finish at 1 minute 30 seconds and still qualify to be voted as the best evaluator for the evening. For table topics, there's no grace on the lower side, which means since the allotted time is 1 to 2 minutes, you have to speak for a minimum of 1 minute in order to qualify for the best speakers vote. Back to you, General Evaluator Aditya.
Thank you very much, timer Toastmaster Sai. Now please help me welcome the R counter of today's meeting, Toastmaster Rishi Raj. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Greetings, everyone. The purpose of R counter is to note the words and sounds as crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, so, and you know, etc. I will also listen for filler sounds like and so on. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I or this means, etc. And at the end of the meeting, when I'm called upon, I'll share the report. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, our counter. Now please help me welcome Madam Grammarian of today's meeting, Toastmaster Niyamad. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Am I clearly audible? I can't see your faces, so the thumbs up won't work.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
I need. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So, as a grammarian, it's my responsibility to make sure that the meeting runs smoothly, of course, but I note down all the good usages of the English grammar. At the same time, also make a note of all the instances where we could have done a better job. So everything minutely will be looked at and reported back to you all at the end of the meeting when called upon to do so. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Don't see Aditya anymore. Where is he?
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Grammarian. Would you like to share the word of the day of today's meeting?
So, like Toastmaster Shubhayan, I'm also a little what can I say? Technically bound. So I don't have the word of the day flashing on your screens. The word of the day for you all is superfluous.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Superfluous, yes. It just means something which is extra or something which could be verbose, and anybody can make a usage of that in their sentences, and we will appreciate the same with a thumbs up.
Thank you very much, Madam Grammarian. On that note, it's time for me to pass on the charge to the TMOD. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator Aditya. I think for introducing the roles and for introducing your own role as the grammarian and the following roles of the meeting. So now we'll be coming over to the first official part of our Toastmasters meeting, which is the prepared speeches. So today we have three prepared speeches lined up. So for, for the same, first we have Toastmaster Khushi, who will be delivering her speech, and to evaluate Khushi's speech, we have Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti. So I'd like to invite Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti to specify the project that she is going to be speaking.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. My target speaker today is Toastmaster Khushi, and Toastmaster Khushi is going to talk to us about leading a small team to complete a project. She has to, through her speech, share some aspect of her experience leading a team and how that experience has added to her in any other field or any other way to her life. Timer, kindly note the time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, for informing us of the project evaluation. And now we have the first speaker of the day, Toastmaster Khushi. Toastmaster Khushi. Defeat. Defeat. Toastmaster Khushi.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guest members. Who is a leader and what makes a leader? Is a leader supposed to know it all? Is a leader supposed to make all the right decisions? Is a leader not allowed to make any mistakes? Absolutely not. Well, my leadership journey began a year ago, right here at Toastmasters, when I was part of the Premier League. It was my first time being at Toastmasters, and I was just a member. Even though I wasn't a leader, I learned so much under the mentorship of Purna. She taught me the skills of what it takes to make decisions, how to make decisions, how to actually get all the members together. And that's where my leadership journey began. And this time around, I was a little hesitant to take up her position. I remember going to the president of Toastmasters, and I went up to him and I told him, Gaurav, I'm not sure if I can do this. He nudged me and he pushed me to apply for the captain of this year's Premier League. I did just that, and I was, to my surprise, selected. I was a little underconfident and hesitant to see how this is all going to pan out. Is it going to be the worst decision of my life or the best? Few weeks passed by and it was time for the auction. I knew I had to select few members for my team. At the auction, I saw all the members choosing the superstars and stars. For all of those who don't know what stars, rising stars, and superstars are, rising stars are new to the club and they're not as seasoned speakers. Stars have more experience at Toastmasters, have been in Toastmasters for a very long time. So those are called stars. And superstars are obviously the speakers who've been at Toastmasters for 10 years or more. When I saw my peers and my captains choosing, all of them were just superstars and stars. And I thought to myself, why not make a team which has rising stars and a few stars? So I did just that. I had a bunch of rising stars who were just very new to the club, who were young. And we didn't know how this was going to pan out, but we decided on our journey together. We would conduct meetings every day. We would get mentors on a day-to-day basis. And we actually saw our members improving. However, this one instant drew us all back into a shell. There was one incident where one member kind of disrespected our members. And I thought to myself, am I a bad captain? Is it because that I'm not a good enough captain that this incident happened? However, I reached out to my mentor and I told him the situation and explained it to him. And he told me what I had to do. I had to be decisive and be firm when I spoke to that member who hurt the member's feelings. Losing few matches along the way really put us back, and our team wasn't as motivated like we were before. However, I still made sure that we sought the situation out and pushed through this. We continued our practices every day. We brought in new mentors, and I kind of tried to improve the team spirit and the morale of our team. And this time we actually started winning those matches. A lot of the times it's really important for us to listen to our team members. Even though they might not be the captain, in fact, they might have more knowledge about things that you might not actually have. And this time I took point of views from each and every team to strategize how we were going to play the matches, how to actually conduct the matches, and what to do about this member who was actually creating a nuisance. In the end, we had to say goodbye to this member because he wasn't really helping us to grow as a team. And we did just that, and we still reached the semi-finals. That day was remarkable because the pressure was high, the stakes were high, and we didn't know how it was going to turn out, but we knew we had to get through it and still win this match. With each and every member's input and point of view, we won this match. We came out of nowhere, and everybody was shocked and surprised. Although we lost the match at semi-finals, it taught me the most important thing. You don't have to have it all figured out as a captain. In fact, help take other people's point of view and take other people's help, delegate tasks along the way, and that will actually help your team to grow. And in fact, to this day, even though we didn't win the finals of the IPL, we actually improved as speakers. A speaker who wasn't able to speak for more than 2 minutes, he was able to give a full speech for 5 to 6 minutes. This was in fact an improvement, not even in me, but as a team altogether. So for all of you who are hesitant to take up a leadership position or who don't really believe in themselves, take that leap of faith and try it out. In fact, it might actually work for you and you might learn something new along the way. And leadership is all about managing people. And that's the most life skill that we should have and entail. And that's what we should encourage everyone to do. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kushi. I think that was a very lovely speech on the importance of defeat, but also the journey that you take and how you improve in the process. So, for the next speaker, we have Toastmaster Bhuvi. For Toastmaster Bhuvi, Toastmaster Deepak will be performing her evaluation. And for the same, I'd like to invite Toastmaster Deepak to provide the project evaluation guidelines. Over to you, Toastmaster Deepak.
Thank you, TM Modi. My target speaker, Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta, attempting her level 2 project 1 in the pathway dynamic leadership. The purpose of the project is for the member to identify his primary leadership style or styles. The duration is timer, it is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Bhuvi Gupta. Over to TM Modi.
Thank you for providing the evaluation guidelines. Toastmaster Bhuvi, can you please confirm if you can see the timer cards and the transition? Great. Toastmaster Bhuvi, you can begin your speech because I don't have your speech title, so you can begin.
Okay, speech title is Understanding the Types of Leadership. So, with a show of hands, how many of you in the audience today has ever led people? And this could mean anything. This could mean school head girl, class representative, manager of people. I see a lot of hands up. In fact, I see most hands up. So almost all of us, right? Most of us have held some kind of managerial position where we were responsible for decisions and for the path that people took. As a part of my Toastmasters pathway on dynamic leadership, my project is about understanding my leadership style. And truth be told, a big reason why I chose this pathway is because I wanted to improve in it. And so, while writing this speech, I started thinking, who has been a leader in my life, who has actually met the definition of a true leader? And honestly, I started thinking, but I couldn't think of a single person who really met the definition in my personal life of a leader. I have around 15 years of work experience, and I've been in a lot of schools and a lot of clubs in school and college as well. And when I started counting, I've actually been managed by more than 50 people. Yes, 50. But leader, no. Managers and leader, the terms are often used interchangeably. And yes, as the former speaker, Kushi, also mentioned, that management is a very strong part of leadership. But leadership goes over and beyond just simple management. If managers are the captains of the ship, a leader is somebody who is giving the vision to chart onto new waters, uncharted waters. If managers maintain the status quo, leaders challenge the status quo. Leaders have vision. Leaders work towards, crossing boundaries. And managers maintain the path and the vision. To actually determine what kind of leader that I wanted to aspire to be, I then went back to the drawing board and looked at theory. And after reading, I realized that there are 6 kinds of leaders. And for ease of comprehension, I have classified them into 3 kinds, good and bad. So the good kind of leader is, one is the autocratic leader, who basically is very controlling and gives strong direction. The opposite leadership style is democratic leadership, who takes the entire team along, gets the opinions of people, and then sets vision. The second type of leadership is transactional leadership, where the people are motivated by strong rewards as well as punishments for whatever tasks that they are performing. The opposite of that is transformational leadership, wherein leaders inspire and motivate on the basis of personality and extraordinary outcomes and overall vision. They create an environment where people are encouraged to test their own boundaries without any monetary compensation. The third kind of um, leadership styles are the laissez-faire leadership, the opposite of the micromanager, wherein you are allowed to basically do your best and perform as you want. And the last kind is the coaching leadership, where the leader emphasizes and concentrates on your positives and gives you tasks that are attuned to your own skill set. Now, ideally, of course, if you look at the theory, nobody would say that they're autocratic, or nobody would believe in transactional leadership. Everybody will want or claim to have democratic leadership, which is transformational and inspiring. But the truth is that these are ideals. It may not be possible to actually aspire to be the ideal, because we live in a real world. And for that, actually, I would want to open the floor out and ask you, who do you think are the great leaders of current times in India? And by that, I mean people who have been dead or who have been alive in the last 10 years. Please unmute yourself and share, who do you think have been the best leaders in India in the last 10 years?
Rohit Sharma.
Okay. Anybody else?
Anna Hazare.
Okay, that's a good one as well. Anybody else?
E. Sridharan, the man behind the metro.
Very nice. Yes, that's somebody who had a vision. He inspired so many cities. He inspired the metros of so many cities. One last option. Anybody? One last answer.
Eknath Shinde is transactional.
Sorry? Yeah, exactly. Eknath Shinde, of course, transactional, but also in a way visionary, because he reached up to a certain path on the basis of strict talent. But anyways, my point is that a lot of you gave a lot of names, but the common thing amongst all of the names that you gave were that a leader can be a leader only when they have a supporting culture which allows them to be a leader, which means that they are empowered. They have the status and the respect, and the people that they are leading acknowledge that. Without power, there can be no leadership. And now it brings me back to my own journey. Most of the people that have led me have been in setups which have been mostly corporate. Corporate setups are very highly managed, right? And even if I have at times feel euphoric by decisions that have been made by my managers, I have also felt affronted. And truth be told, I know that I have also affronted people when I have been managing people. So to sum up, if I have to be any kind of leader, I have to be adaptable. I have to acknowledge that there are different styles of leadership and every single situation is unique. So depending on the situation, I have to be transactional or transformative. I have to be inspiring or I have to be autocratic, because it is the culture of the people and the situation that should determine your leadership style. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bobby. I think you have elaborated the topic of leadership very well, captured the essences, and talked about the different leadership styles that you have encountered, and gave us a lot of great carry over points. So with that, we come to an end of the first section of a general Toastmasters meeting, which is the prepared speeches round. Now, shifting back to our theme of the meeting. First impressions. They're very important when you think about it. But the question remains, why? Why are first impressions important? And why is there so much, how should I put it, importance, significance given to first impression? The reason is very simple. It's all rooted in survival. Back in our ancestors' days, or to be more precise, back during the caveman days, making snap judgments was very essential. Are you a friend or are you a foe? Is it safe to stay here or is it dangerous? Now, fast forward to today, and our brain still keeps processing people just as quickly, even in less life threatening situations, and even in some situations as simple as meeting someone in a Zoom meeting or at a party. Forget about life threatening situations that our great to the power infinity ancestors faced. Now, why are first impressions crucial? Well, interviews, for one. Hiring managers will make snap decisions in a minute as to whether a candidate is a good fit for a role or not. And let's take another instance from personal life, our relationships. Those first few moments where a person meets another person can easily set the tone and decide whether person A has a connection or trusts the other person, person B. And well, in public speaking, your audience can size you up in minutes, probably even before you set foot on the stage. With that, I'd like to set the tone for the next section of our meeting, which is our table topic session. And for that, I'd like to hand the floor over to the table topic master of this session, Toastmaster Sheila. So, Toastmaster Sheila, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Modi. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but you're not visible.
I have just.
Yeah, now you're visible.
Thank you. Okay, so with the topic of this TMOD, the topic the theme which he has selected, first impression. I would say rather I would just stick to impression, neither first nor last, or the lasting one. So moving on to that, I have selected some topics, table topics, based on this theme only, impressions. I would like to have some volunteers who's ready to take up the first quote from my side. If we can have the volunteer.
I can go.
Pardon, who's that?
Toastmaster Cyril. Hi.
Okay, thank you. So here goes the quote. The quote says, "Our words do leave a deep, significant impression, so we should use them well." I repeat, our words do leave a deep, significant impression, so we should use them well. Over to you.
I love words. I think anyone who knows me in BKC Fireflies know that I really love words. I love to play with them. Let me tell you about one word, rather a string of words that I heard, which left a mark on me. Investment banking days, I'm working with Excel. I'm working nights on it. I haven't slept for 3 or 4 days. There is an important meeting happening in office. We are discussing the valuation for a large real estate player. 5 minutes before the meeting, we've fixed the valuation at $1.2 billion. 5 minutes before the meeting, I realized that cell number H246 in Excel has got a circular reference, due to which the valuation has been overestimated by 237 crores. I am sure I am going to lose my job. I tell my boss, his name is Suman Saha. Look him up on LinkedIn. We used to call him Suman the steel-voiced Saha because he can cut you like steel. Before he comes in, I say my funeral prayers also because I'm sure that I'm dead that day. And I tell him, Suman, this has happened. Suman stares at me for 5 full seconds, which felt like eternity. And he says, don't worry, shit happens. Sorry for the expletive, but that's what he said. Don't worry, shit happens was probably the most beautiful words that I heard ever in my life. And trust me, I've heard several impressive words, because that showed forgiveness, that showed kindness, and that showed empathy for someone who's been working for 3-4 nights in a row. I do not know how he managed that differential, but the transaction went through, and this particular company that I'm talking about is one of the largest real estate companies in India. So maybe a few crores here and there, just decimal points. But yeah, that's my story. Thank you for that wonderful topic. Back to you.
That was wonderful. And I think each one of us have some that impeccable words, that we carry with us. Like for me, that word is always so what. Every time I come across, I feel so what. Like being a leader, being a coordinator, I just always tell my team, so what. So that's the word I carry, and it just leaves some very positive impact on others. So second volunteer, please. We have beautiful quotes on impressions and some better quotes. Who would like to volunteer?
Sheila, Aditya has raised his hand, but next time just call on people. You don't have to wait for people to volunteer.
Oh, actually, I didn't know the conduct here, because in our way we give the volunteers to do. Fine, I'll just pick up anyone.
No, so Aditya has raised his hand, so Aditya is spotlighted, but the next person you can just pick up someone.
Okay, thank you. I remember that. Okay, Aditya, Toastmaster Aditya, the quote goes like this: a picture is the expression of an impression. If the beautiful were not in us, how would we ever recognize it? I repeat, a picture is the expression of an impression. If the beautiful were not in us, how would we ever recognize it? Over to you.
How many of you agree that a picture can tell 1,000 words? I always do. Our TMOD started the meeting by saying that almost 90 to 95 percentage of communication is non-verbal. And this is exactly why I think cameras and mobile phones are a boon, not a bane. Sometimes I really feel like I can carry all those sweet memories from a recent trip I have been in through the serenity shown in those pictures that we took. Those pictures were not just photographs, but mere impressions of how we enjoyed, of how we had fun, of how we forgot all those 9 to 5 jobs and came for a respite where we can actually be together, have fun with each other. I sometimes, during a very cumbersome day, go back to those memories by just looking at those photographs. So, don't you think photographs and pictures are actually magical? They tell you 1,000 words, 1,000 stories. I think that is a medium through which we can live those memories all over again through those simple words, through those simple pictures. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Absolutely true. Our pictures leave the lasting impressions also, and we carry that impressions with us for a long time. So thank you, wonderful. That was wonderful, Toastmaster Aditya. Now I would like to call Sangeeta Shrishti S. Am I right?
Yes, Sangeeta Shruti is right, but I'm an evaluator. Maybe we could take someone who doesn't have a role which requires so much talking. So they'll get a chance.
Can
We
I
have
give
guests
chance to
also, I
the
believe.
guest? Right?
Yes, guests have the option of saying no, though. You can invite them, but they can say no. Toastmasters
Okay,
cannot say no, but guests
okay,
can.
Rimsi, would you like to try?
Sure, I would love to.
Okay, so the quote goes like this. We are not at best sometimes in the room, but if we learn the art of carrying ourselves with confidence, we do make the best impression on people. I repeat, we are not at best sometimes in the room, but if we learn the art of carrying ourselves with confidence, we do make the best impressions on people. Over to you.
Um, I actually really like the topic. A quote that I wanted to start with is by Virginia Woolf. It says, "Unless I'm myself, I'm nobody." And um, there are going to be times when I'm not going to be at my 100% best self, or I'm not going to present myself to the person um, really well. That could be my first impression for the person, but I believe that it is still me who's going to be there. Maybe there are things that they see in me. Maybe it's not what I speak or what I tell them, but maybe it's the way I walk or the way I dress myself up. I might not be at my 100% self, but there is going to be things that the person that I'm meeting is going to see in me that they're going to have a lasting impression for. Um, what else? I think I think that's it. That's all I want to say today. I can't come up with anything else. Thank you so much.
Okay, it was quite confident that you accepted thing. That itself showed that yes, you have put some impression on us. That was nice of you, Rimsi. Can I call Shrishti Singh to have the next
Yes.
quote?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Shrishti. Okay, your quote goes like this. Sometimes one creates a dynamic impression by saying something, and sometimes one creates as significant as impression by remaining silent. I repeat, sometimes one creates a dynamic impression by saying something, and sometimes one creates as significant an impression by remaining silent. Over to you.
So there is this very famous quote which says, sometimes silence has speaks thousand silence speaks more volume what words cannot. So I have been in many situations during my day-to-day interactions with people and at my job, where if I keep on, like, just few minutes back we were discussing about leadership, right? So there comes many situations in which I have to deal with my team and I have to give them instructions, but I cannot be a micromanager and keep giving them superfluous instructions of how a work or a job is supposed to be done. So at those times I think being silent uh, helps. You just observe how the team is trying to handle the situation themselves, how they are tackling the problems one by one. And if you feel that speaking or giving some suggestion either to your manager or the people who are working at your same level or the people who are working under your guidance will add any value, then you speak. Otherwise, staying silent sometimes helps. And there is this very beautiful movie Bambi, which I saw a few years back. So one very famous dialogue of it I remember very fondly. In it, one of the characters says that if you don't have anything good to speak, then it's better to not speak anything at all. So I think there are many situations when we do not know if saying something will either improve the situation or add to it. Then it's always better to stay silent, because the world can go on with one less opinion of yours. And I have also come up with many people who stay very quiet and reserved, and we pay much attention to what they do have to say. So I think being silent and having few words to say only when it matters helps. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shrishti. I think, yeah, I agree with that because the silence is golden word. The thing is that sometimes the one who speaks less also is a very good observant. So we can say, that yes, the person is silent, but he or she would be observing to the minute thing, and then time comes, they might speak. How many more I can go, Sai?
As per the agenda, you're doing okay. You can pick 2 or 3 more.
2 or 3 more. Who is left now? Evaluators. Can I take Rishi?
Yeah.
Rishi?
Yes,
Would you
am
like
I
to?
visible?
Would you like to? Okay.
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, so the quote goes, easy one. Don't beat the bush. Instead, leave the lasting impression in the minds. Don't beat the bush. Instead, leave the lasting impressions in the mind. Over to you.
Thank you, Table Master, for this topic. So I'll share an incident which happened at my office few months back. So I was in charge of a new project. This incident is 6 months back, and I and my team had to develop a completely new product from scratch. And this was my first time leading any team, a proper team filled with technicals, senior managers, etc. If anyone is in the tech field, they know how the setup goes on. Now there are many stakeholders, even the clients. And me being in the frontline facing role of tackling the clients, taking up the requirements and getting things developed, I was unsure as how to go about. And this is a very proper scenario where when you have any idea how to speak up or how to handle situation, you tend to over exemplify or over speak many things, and you start to beat around the bush instead of getting direct. And once the situation started to happen, the project started, understood that within a month that I'm not able to lead them properly. Instead, I'm just circling around things, delaying a lot of stuff. And that's when I decided to change my approach and be more direct in just not terms of taking the requirements, but also delivering it, making sure that my developers are understand what their job is, how to do, how to report, etc., and not overcommit to anything which can be done as of now based on prioritization, etc. And yeah, that will be from my side. Over to you, tabletop master.
It was so nice. Yes, it's based on the experiences also. It matters that what you shared. It does leave some impressions. Okay, can I go with who is left now? Can Niyamat take the role, or is Niyamat allowed to take the quote?
Whether I'm allowed or not, I don't know who decides.
I don't know, because in my club we give the volunteers the chance. So here Sai told me to pick up, so I'm just trying to pick up randomly people. I'm trying to
No,
know
I
and
was
pick up.
just joking. If
Is
you
it
have
okay,
time, I'm
Sai?
good to go.
Is it Sai okay if I pick up Niyamat?
It's just fine with me. Go ahead.
Okay. Maybe the last quote I would say, the beautiful one again. Whatever makes an impression on the heart seems lovely in the eye. I repeat, whatever makes an impression on the heart seems lovely in the eyes. Over to you.
Thank you for that wonderful quote. Again, I'm going to take you from Toastmasters Cyril. And speaker, the first thing that pops into my head, anybody who knows me knows that I have a certain affection for Shah Rukh Khan. And when you speak about somebody who makes an impression on the heart, that's the first man I think of. And when you speak of countless women out there, whether they're married or not, and ask them who the first man of their life is, yes, probably their fathers, but Shah Rukh Khan might even trump their husbands. So why? Why does this man seem to have that kind of an impact? Well, it's surely not about good looks. It's got more to do with how he behaves with you, how he makes you feel in person. But more than that, because majority of the people who claim to love him haven't even met him, it's more about his personality, the sheer love that he exudes for his audience, for all the people who admire him. So it's not only the acting that he does, but it's the intelligence, it's those thoughts that leave a lasting impression. So the man who resides in my heart, at least till I find somebody who can trump him, is going to be Shah Rukh Khan. And just because of that, it's what makes him extremely beautiful. Thank you. Over to you, Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Namath. Yes, personality makes a difference and leaves the lasting impressions. I do agree. We all have some crush on some or other people. So, yes, that impressions also is one type of impression which we carry with us. So, I think that brings to the end of this session, and I hand over the mic to our team Modi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sheila. That was a very invigorating session that we had on first impressions. Great quotes, and kudos to everyone who participated. You all presented your own take on first impressions. I'd like to ask Toastmaster Sai to present the timer report for the table topic speeches.
I'll do one better. I'll report the timing for the prepared speeches as well. Our prepared speaker number 1, Khushi, spoke for 7 minutes and 6 seconds. She qualifies for the vote. Our second speaker, prepared speaker today, Bhuvi, spoke for 7 minutes and 44 seconds. Unfortunately, she will not be participating in the vote for the best speaker for the evening, unfortunately. When it comes to table topics, here are the timings for the speakers in table topics. Cyril was able to survive the stuff that happened to him. He spoke for 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Aditya, 1 minute and 26. Rimsi, 1 minute and 8. Srishti, 2 minutes and 17. For a person who's doing it for the first time, she spoke for more than all the experienced Toastmasters. So congratulations, Srishti. 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Rishi spoke for 1 minute and 43 seconds. He was not beating around the bush. He was well within time. Nice work, Rishi. And finally, Niyamat, you could see the happiness on her face when she got to discuss her idol, 1 minute and 35 seconds. So all the participants in table topics qualified for the vote for the best table topic speaker. Back to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai. I think for presenting the timing reports for both the speech and for the table topic speeches. Now, back to the theme of the meeting. You made a first impression on someone, and maybe it wasn't a good one. Maybe you were dressed improperly, or maybe there was a stain on your shirt, or maybe you said something rude, or maybe it was none of this. Maybe it was some non-verbal cue that you gave which struck the other person as not so good. How do you go about recovering from that? Well, you'll be surprised to know that there is a Harvard study which was conducted which shows that it takes approximately 8 consecutive positive interactions to recover from first impressions which are negative. Now, let's deep dive a little bit into the psychology of the thing. When we encounter someone new in our life, one of the two things that I'm about to tell which follows usually occurs. So the first thing which can occur is a halo effect. Now, what is a halo effect? Well, in psychology, a halo effect is like a positive first impression. So what it does is that we simply assume that everything else about them is also positive. We think that they are intelligent, we think that they are kind, we think that they are capable. So basically, based off just one positive trait, we assume that their entire personality is positive. Now, this effect is named after the halo, the angel's halo, which is seen on top of their heads. And the opposite of the same is known as the horn effect. Now, the horn effect, as you can probably tell, is the polar opposite of the halo effect. So if you meet someone and have a negative experience, the horn effect will come into place. That is, even one flaw about that person, suppose this person was late in meeting you, so their punctuality, that alone will color your views about that person entirely. And it is very difficult to overcome the impressions we form when we meet someone. But it is possible to do so because first impressions are definitely not the last impressions. And with that, I'd like to move on to the general evaluation of this meeting. And I'd like to call upon the general evaluator for this meeting, Toastmaster Aditya. Handing
Thank you
over the
very
stage to.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. It's time for the general evaluators feedback, but before that, I'd like to call the individual evaluators to present their feedback of the prepared speeches. Please help me welcome the first evaluator of today's meeting, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Aditya. My target speaker today was Khushi. Does a leader have to have it all figured out? She asked us. And then itself was a hook. Got us to listening because everybody who's ever taken a leadership role will remember that we came with this fear. What if we can't figure it out? There are some things about Toastmaster Khushi's speech that I really liked. Firstly, it was a personal story narrated along the journey, along with the way it took shape, which took us on the journey with her. There was clear learning. She learned that listening is a large part of leadership. She learned that managing people is a large part of leadership. She also learned, she told us, that you don't need to be Superman or Wonder Woman to be a good leader. So clear takeaways or clear learnings from what she had done. There are a few things that I have, which I will recommend Toastmaster Khushi to look into to make her speech a little better. Firstly, she spoke to us about a project. Now, when you are Toastmaster Khushi in an environment that is not your club, which is a different environment, the IPL you're talking of may not be very apparent to everybody. So, a little elaboration on what the project entailed, what you were supposed to do, and how you went about doing it would have given a little more relevance to your learnings and how you came about them. Also, a little bit of elaboration on the experience and what the experience taught you, because that was exactly what the project was about. You did give us takeaways you got from your project, but what did it teach you and how it enriched you and how you came about that teaching would have been nice. For example, when you spoke about someone not being very cordial in a meeting or not being very cordial as part of the team, maybe you don't have to tell us how he wasn't or she wasn't cordial. You could have told us how that experience or how overcoming it helped you grow as a person. Since Toastmaster Khushi is an up and coming Toastmaster, I have a challenge for you. Toastmaster Khushi, your story would have grown leaps and bounds with a little voice modulation. When you were in fear, we needed to hear the fear in your tone, not just your words. When you learned, when you were okay with something you learned, when you faced a situation you didn't know what to do, all these things had to come up in expression. And if they come up in your voice modulation, that will connect as an emotion with the audience. Words connect, yes, but it is the connection of emotion which is higher than that. So, to sum it all up, very clear story, nicely narrated, clear takeaways, a little elaboration before you start off on what you're speaking, a little elaboration on how you came about the experience or what it did for you, a little attention to voice modulation, expression, emotion, and Toastmaster Khushi, you'll turn into an orator people will look up to. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, evaluator, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti. It's time for me to introduce the second evaluator of today's meeting, Toastmaster Deepak Raj. Over to you.
Leadership is like a salt in the food. If it's added more, people say it's not nice. If you add less, and again, the food is a crap. So to develop a leadership, there are a lot of styles, which was great session from my target speaker. Opening up the audience in the first instance, that's create an impact, asking them, are you being a manager or been mentoring? That creates a huge impact to think about what the speech is all about. Your speech has more insights on the leadership, and the audience had a great insights about the leadership different styles. I would like to share the highlights of the speech. First thing, I really love the virtual background which you set it, which most of the virtual speakers don't do it. Great kudos. I'll say rather than a speech, it's an educational session on leadership. That's how your session it was, presenting to the audience. You did a great analysis on the leadership styles and narrated the different types of it. And we always confuse between what is a manager and a leader. But you clearly given an explanation about the difference. And that gives an impression that are we being tamed by the manager or leader? Only examples can connect to the audience and make it more clear, where you made it perfectly by asking the audience on what are their own common thoughts on leaders they admire. And you sum it up with the common points. That is really great task. Some good speech, some suggestions on the good speech to a great speech. My suggestions will be, as an evaluator, I have already set the stage on the purpose of the speech, and I feel there is again a repetition from your side that you can save time on your speech presentation. Next is that your speech talks more on the leadership and different types. Rather, it should be these are the different types and what we have been followed effectively that should have been presented. The context of the speech is more generalistic rather than it should be sharing your own personal experience that you have implemented these are different styles and what is the impact that you have created with more examples that would have been connected to the audience on a greater note. Giving a virtual speech delivery, responding, I recommend you to stand and give a speech so that you can open up your body language. Overall, it was a great speech with more insights on leadership. It will be great if you share some personal experience where you have created an impact on your personal note and with more body language and voice changeover, which would have made a fantastic speech. My my best wishes on your future projects, target speaker. All the best. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, evaluator number 2, Toastmaster Deepak Raj. Now it's time for the tag team's report, and I'd like to welcome the tag team members in reverse order. Please help me welcome the grammarian of today's meeting, Toastmaster Niyamat. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yes, you all can finally see my face now. All right. So you have to bear with me because I have a long report. First, we'll speak about all the good usages, the wonderful usages of the English language. And I do not have them specifically per person. So I'm just going to go with the way I have jotted them down. It's a bit of a homecoming. Homecoming is a wonderful word to use when you're speaking about coming back, reintroducing something which feels familiar. So we can use the word homecoming. Laptop giving last minute hiccups. So I like the usage of descriptive language where laptop can become a very dry word, but when we add something like giving last minute hiccups, it gives us a nice visual imagery to work with. You never get a second first impression. It's a simple statement, but it's very profound. You never get a second first impression. No matter what you say, the first love or the first impression, it's gone. That's it. Now you'll always have something that comes after it. This time round, I felt it was a nice phrase to use. He nudged me and he pushed me. Again, this was used in one of the speeches, and it felt very nice to imagine using these words when somebody is trying to boost your morale or trying to help you go get ahead. And they use words like nudged me and pushed me. It can be used in a negative connotation also, hence. I told him the situation. So I feel like in this case, Okay, that's one of the negatives. I'll speak about it later. Taking a leap of faith, attuned to your skill set, snap judgments. I like the word snap judgments, which came towards the end of the meeting. Setting the tone of the meeting. Yes, we use it very often, but it's a nice phrase. It can be used more and more. Then again, all the table topics were fantastic. They had very nice expressions, and they were again used very well in the speeches that were delivered because of them. Don't worry, shit happens. So what? If the beautiful were not in us, how would we recognize it? Serenity, mere impressions of how we enjoyed, respite, cumbersome, pictures tell 1,000 stories, and like I said, I can go on and on. Okay, a few of the negatives, let's talk about that. One of the speakers was trying to speak about how silence is more effective, and they couldn't get the idiom quite right. So others also helped with that. Silence is golden. Silence speaks louder than words. It speaks more volumes. It's okay. It works. Then one place it was said he's very good observant. It could have been a very good observer. I and my team, it could have been my team and I. A situation started to happen. So we say this, but it doesn't really make sense. The situation happened, or a situation occurred. So situation started to happen doesn't quite feel very right to me. A few things that we should seriously avoid, because we just tend to infuse it in our speeches every single time. So this goes to all of us. First one, and I, as a word master or grammarian, I gave you all a word superfluous. So you're not supposed to make things superfluous. We tend to use and a bit too much because our thoughts are running and we don't know where to pause. So we keep saying and. So let's try to minimize that usage. Second, basically or basically. So, and basically, we say this in everything. Let's try to minimize that. Let's try to again cut and keep our sentences shorter. Only. Only also, I feel like it's that one word lost in the ocean and we don't know what to do with it and everybody brings it in their sentences. We don't need to use only so much. So last thing, last segment of my report. As a challenge, I request all of you all to introspect and identify one word that you all use way too much that needs to not be used. I'm constantly told that I say okay too much. In my sentences, okay, so you've understood okay, like that. So try to figure out what that one word is and make it a point to pause when you're about to say that word. Okay? Oh, sorry. So back to you, Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Grammarian. Now let's go for the R counters report. Please help me welcome the R counter of today's meeting, Toastmaster Rahul Raj. Rishi Raj, I'm sorry. Over to you, Rishi Raj.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So start my report for the counter. I'll be naming the persons and the respective filler words and etc. that I recorded. So I'll start with the first name, Toastmaster of the day, that's Shubhayam. So he spoke well 3 times, so 3 times, and there was a repeat word of now twice. Then our speaker, number one, Kushi Mayur. There was repeat words of I thrice and was used thrice. Other than that, I didn't find any. Toastmaster Deepak, so once, but once. Speaker Bhuvi Gupta, 4 times, so 2 times. Yeah, that's it. So Madam Toastmaster Sheila Iyer, so once, but twice. You know once and yeah twice. That were the repeat words. Those were the 2 repeat words. Toastmaster Cyril used one repeat word I twice and twice. Then guest Rimsey used 5 times and maybe twice. Guest Srishti used 3 times. so 3 times. I myself used so twice and used the repeat word of and twice. And grammarian Niyamat used and twice. And that is all from my report. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. Our counter, please help me welcome the timer of today's meeting. Toastmaster Sai, over to you.
Both our evaluators were able to keep their speeches within the allotted time. Sangeeta Shruti spoke for 3 minutes and 12 seconds, and Deepak spoke for 2 minutes 56 seconds. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much. So now let me present the general evaluator's report and let me keep it very short and not superfluous anymore. The meeting was supposed to start at 7 p.m. and it did start at 7 p.m. So kudos to all of us, especially the EC. The Sergeant at Arms started the meeting with a bang, with a positive note. My suggestion is to have something extra so that you add some more, a little bit of value to the meeting when the meeting starts. The presiding officer, yes, started the meeting very well. My suggestion is to start the meeting with the history of Toastmasters, the size and impact of Toastmasters, so we can introduce what Toastmasters is to our guests. A small suggestion to the presiding officer and the Toastmaster of the day to join the meeting in advance and go for a quick network connectivity check so we can refrain from having all kinds of technical failures. And going forward, the TMOD should also state the flow of the meeting, the prepared speeches, the table topics, and breakfast of champions, so that the guests know how the flow is going to be like. And one suggestion to the timer is that while describing the role of the timer, you might also want to state the guidelines separately for the different kinds of speeches. What is the guideline for prepared speech? What is the guideline for table topic? And what is the guideline for evaluation speech? Now let's come to the table topic master, Toastmaster Sheila. I really loved the table topics. It was aligning with the theme of today's meeting, and I really liked your takeaways from every table topic speech. I think that was the highlight of your table topic session. One suggestion that I'd like to give you is using the Toastmasters convention. So when you call a speaker on stage, when you invite and when you hand over the charge to the speaker, you start with the speaker's name, topic, and speaker's name as per the convention. Another suggestion to you is that you might also want to again reiterate the word of the day and reiterate the timing guidelines before starting the table topic session. Otherwise, I just loved it. Going forward with the evaluators, the individual evaluators of today's meeting, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, what I really liked about your evaluation was that you clearly mentioned how and where the speaker can improve, along with examples for all the recommendations you gave. One suggestion that I'd like to give you is that I would want to know how would Sangeeta Shruti would have attempted this project. If you have alternatives of approaching and conducting and then delivering this particular project, I think that will add a lot of value to the speaker's project and the speech as well. Evaluator, Toastmaster Deepak Raj, it was full of highlights and appreciation. I think that is a good way of motivating the speaker, especially the first time speakers. It also followed the CRC format, the commendation. One suggestion to you is that whenever you give recommendations, also mention how, where, and why to improve. I think that will motivate and clearly provide areas of improvement that the speaker can improve on with tangible benefits. Now let's again come to the grammarian's report. I loved grammarian's report. Madam Grammarian Niyamat had a very comprehensive way of telling how to use grammar and how to speak with proper English grammar. One recommendation that I'd like to give you is that I would want you to make your grammarian's report more cleaner. So when I say cleaner, you can have a more fixed template to your grammarian's report. For example, XYZ should have been ABC. BCD should have been LMQ. I didn't went should have been I didn't go. I didn't call should have been I didn't call. So this might engage everybody and clearly tell what they did wrong and how they can improve. Make it more cleaner. One thing that you missed in your grammarians report is mentioning who used the word of the day and frequency of the word of the day used in today's meeting. Otherwise, loved your report. Let's come to the R counters report. R counters report was again very objective. That is how an R counters report should be. One recommendation is that you might want to verbatim stick to the R counter's description of role when you introduce your role. For example, the R counter's job is to count the usage of R's, filler words, crutch words, and repetitive words. You'll have to categorically mention all of these, and when you provide a report, you will have to categorically state the frequency of each speaker of usage of these categories. Last recommendation to you is that always mention who were the flawless speakers of today's meeting. That really gives a motivation to the speakers who didn't use any of the R's or ums. Otherwise, overall meeting, I think it was very enlightening, very interactive, and more importantly, it gave me positive first impressions. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, General Director Aditya. I think for presenting a very crisp and yet detailed evaluation of the meeting's proceedings as well as each of the meeting role players. So, in order to conclude, in a world where seconds count for nothing, first impressions are anything but superfluous. They will shape how you are perceived, how opportunities for you will unfold, and even how your relationships will begin. But often they don't end up telling the whole story. But they do open that first chapter. So they set the tone for what is to follow. So as we step into new encounters, let's just remember that a confident smile and an authentic presence and just a touch of mindfulness can create impressions that are not only lasting but also meaningful. Because every great story starts off with a strong introduction. And with that, I'd like to hand the floor back to the presiding officer.
Acting presiding officer, because our presiding officer had a technical issue. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of meeting number 154. It was a wonderful experience having all these great Toastmasters from across the length and breadth of the country, guests from New Delhi covering their mouth with N95 masks, without covering their masks with N95 masks. We're always happy to have people from all over the world joining us for our meetings, and this is no different from those meetings. Guys, we have one more thing to do before we sort of start winding up, and that is the polls. Let me quickly launch the poll so you guys can go ahead and tell us what you think were the best performers of the meeting. And while that is happening, I would love to hear from people how the experience of the meeting was. I wonder if people can see my screen, which is being live telecast to YouTube as well. Don't do it. Just finish your vote and then go ahead and see. Seven people have finished their votes. I'm going to assume that Shubhayan, have you finished your vote? All right, I'm going to put you on the spotlight alongside me so we can quickly have a debrief on what you thought about the meeting and what your first impression was, in fact.
I think it was a great idea to start the meeting 30 minutes before the designated timing, and I interact with so many people, some of whom I knew, some of whom I did not know, and I was forming first impressions about. And yeah, I think the whole meeting in general, the proceedings and everything about the meeting went very smoothly, and I got to meet excellent people, excellent guests and who have great potential to become fellow Toastmasters. And in general, yeah, I'm looking forward to attending future meetings with BKC Fireflies.
That'll be amazing.
Back
Thank
to
you so much. Rimsi, this was your first meeting as a member. How was that experience?
It was wonderful. Everyone was so amazing. I got to learn so much, and I think I'll improve being here. Thank you so much.
We're happy to have you too. Srishti, how was your first impression?
It was a very structured meeting. One thing I really liked was that
Wait, hang on,
even
hang on. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. We don't want Aditya here. We want you here. I don't know why I spotlighted Aditya for some reason. My mistake.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
So the
Let's keep on.
meeting was very structured. Everyone was following their roles. What I really liked was that each and every one of us were heard and evaluated, even the timer, the grammarian, and the evaluators. And we got very constructive feedbacks, which will help us to improve the way we convey our emotions and thoughts. And I look forward to more of such sessions. Thank you so much for making me feel very included and welcomed.
Nice. And Aditya's home club, which is Matrix Toastmasters, also has amazing meetings. So if you ever get a chance, you should check out his home club as well. I mean, you're all welcome to come back to BKC Fireflies. We meet on Thursdays, but
Yeah.
Aditya's home club, which is Matrix Toastmasters, meets on Saturdays, I believe, Aditya. Am I saying it right?
Sundays.
Sunday. I'm only off by one day. I can't be that bad. So yeah, his club also has great meetings. Please do check them out as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If Aditya is this good, his club has to be as good as well, right? Deepak, let me put you on the spot alongside me and then I'll announce the results. How was your experience of the meeting, Deepak? And any feedback for us, anything we can do to improve?
I was checking the meeting number again and again, whether the meeting number is like 154, something like that, right? I get it was because it was very professional, very structured. I see I mean, I belong to a club where in Chennai Communicators Club, we are into 684th meeting right now. So I see a kind of like, what to say, a 300, 400, 500 meetings experience where a lot of professionalism getting spotlighted. And I love the GE feedback because GE feedback will be mostly on the tag, but not for the evaluators. But this is a great insight for me that where I've been lagging in, this is great insight for me. Uh, I mean, I was wondering, I think I joined the meeting around like 7, at least a minute before. And I was so happy to see everybody was present because most of the virtual meeting when I saw, only at 7 p.m., only 7 o'clock at the time, only the PO or everybody keeps joining in. They take 5-10 minutes of breathing time. And it's very hard to see a virtual meeting starts on time. And I had, and I was like, oh, I feel so bad. Okay, I am so late to this meeting because whenever I go for virtual meeting, I come on time, but I'll be the person who was a second or third person would have been joined. They'll say they wait for 5-10 minutes. So it was a great thing that you guys starting on time. It's very professional, and you guys go to the great milestones. So I can able to see the pulse of the team members. I had a great session. Thanks a lot for introducing me this kind of a meeting. I had a great time. Thank you.
And the secret is that this club was actually a physical club which used to meet in Mumbai. And when you're in Mumbai, if you're late by even a minute, people are going to beat you up. They don't take tardiness kindly in Mumbai. That's why we've carried it over into the online version as well. So I'm going to call someone who's been chomping at the bit to tell us jokes. Is he able to join us? Let me see if his video comes on, because he's been sending all these messages saying that, yeah, I'm going to tell jokes. Oh, his video is coming out. So he's available to talk to us. Do I want to hear his jokes? I don't actually.
Sai, I won't crack a Sai joke today.
Please tell us.
Are you a... No, I will not crack a Sai joke today. I think we'll have to explain what Sai jokes are first. But here's a question to you. Are you a Star Trekker or are you a Star Wars person?
Trekker, absolutely Trekker. No chance Star Wars. Are you mad? Not my thing.
How many years did Captain Kirk have?
I don't know those things. I just don't know details. I used to love Star Trek way more.
How many years did Captain Kirk have?
Shut up. I didn't want to hear that joke. Get lost. No, so for the people who don't know, let me just introduce you so that people know why we're talking the way we're talking. I say shut up to you in public. Because Cyril was a former BKC Fireflies member who has now has taken a sabbatical from BKC Fireflies, but he's part of a different club called the Word Wise Toastmasters. They meet on Saturday evenings. Is that right, Cyril?
The Saturday afternoon, 12:30.
Saturday. So his club has a slightly different format for the people who are watching. Srishti, you were looking at the format of our meeting. His club has a slightly different format, and his club also meets online if you want to check them out. Cyril, why don't you explain what your club format is?
Well, it's a literature-themed club. So Toastmaster meetings, typically you have prepared speeches, extempore speeches, and evaluations. Whereas in our club, we do a lot more. We do book reviews, we don't do extempore speaking. Rather, we just don't do extempore speaking alone. We do extempore writing as well. There are several innovative ways to approach the pathways. Like for vocal variety, we actually have people coming together and presenting a skit. You need to really show that emotion in your voice. So we bend the Toastmasters format left, right, and center so that everyone kind of walks away happier and you learn better. So yeah, it's called Wordwise because it's got people who are full of, they're all people who love etymology. So you end up being at least a word wiser with every meeting that you attend.
And Cyril is part of the Friends of BKC Fireflies. So Cyril, please feel free to share your meeting coordinates the next time you have a meeting. That's going to come up on December 7th, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this Saturday.
You post it on the Friends of BKC Fireflies group. Aditya, you can share it with Srishti. Others can also join that meeting. It'll be fun.
Aditya is joining the meeting. He's a team owner.
Yes,
he's definitely coming then. All right, I'm going to drop Cyril from the screen because I was a little scared that he's going to make side jokes, but he's not. Thank you so much, Cyril. I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that the meeting is coming to an end. The bad news is that some people are going to be disappointed with the votes because they would have been so close, but yet so far. Let's go with our best auxiliary role player. The person who's going to walk away smiling is the person who was driving when her role was being, she was executing her role. That's going to be Niyaman. She was chosen as the best auxiliary role player as a grammarian for the evening. And the votes were superfluous. No, I'm making up usages now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Niyaman, for your hard work. The best primary role player was our general evaluator who beat us with a stick, but people still liked what he did to us. Aditya, congratulations on being voted as the best primary role player.
Thank you, everybody.
Right, and I'm going to take an executive decision on this one because I'm sure Cyril is not going to push back on this. So the best table topic speaker, and it's very close. I'm not going to say that it was just an executive decision taken off the top of my head. The best table topic speaker for the evening, though the votes were very close, I'm going to give it to Srishti because she's a newcomer. So Cyril, you're a 100-year-old Toastmaster. You don't count. Your participation is superfluous. Srishti, congratulations on being.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I loved your table topics myself. It's 2 minutes, 17 seconds. You have a gift of the gab. You should do it more.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, and finally, our best evaluator for the on the speaking side, because Bhuvi spoke for more than 7 minutes, 30 seconds, she was not allowed to participate in the voting. So that's why Kushi becomes the best speaker for the evening by default. But our best evaluator for the evening was Sangeeta Shruti. Congratulations, Sangeeta Shruti, on being voted the best evaluator. With that, this meeting has now come to an end. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure being part of meeting 154 with you. And with that, if you have no other business to discuss, we can all continue with the rest of our evening and enjoy. You know what? I'll do one thing. I'll take a little picture. Niyamat, you should be doing this.
Yes, I know, but I'm on the phone, which is why I've raised my hand very politely, waiting for you to see me. But
Right.
Please do the needful.
Please do the needful. Sounds like a grammarian's nightmare. Can you guys make some gestures or put up a heart or something so that it looks like fun?
Yo.
Yo is not a gesture. I can't capture that in a picture.
Okay, fine. I don't know why do we do peace? Why do we do peace?
Because
What's the story behind that?
Wait. Let's do it again because our table topics master was not there in the picture. Please hold the pose. She was not there initially. Now she's here. We do peace because people are competitive and they want to win, and if they don't win, you have to have peace. All right. Thank you, guys. Picture is done. I'm so happy you were here. I'll see you in 2 weeks on December 19th, which is our next meeting. Before that, Srishti, you have a whole workbook of things. Wordwise Toastmasters, then Aditya's own Toastmasters Club. You have to do a lot of homework before you come to the next meeting. So I'll see you guys on December 19th.
I'll be more prepared. Thank you so much for a wonderful evening today. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Sai, and everyone for this wonderful session.
And if you want to invest in my cut vegetables idea, please do let me know.
Actually, I work in Amul. So right now, Amul is planning to launch products so that they take the entire share of your plate. So we have entered into staples. We are already in dairy. And very soon we'll be launching fresh fruits and vegetables also. So yeah, please
Take
wait
that,
for
Aditya. I was right. You guys are such terrible people. I was on the right track. Take that, Aditya.
Yes, Amul will soon be launching fresh fruits and vegetables. Yeah.
It's like, what the hell is going on? But before the meeting started, we were discussing the usefulness of cut vegetable, like a startup which delivers cut vegetables to your house. And you see?
Yeah, I want that.
You see, Aditi, you're useless. I hate you. All right, guys. Have a great evening. I'll see you guys on December 19th. Bye.
Thank you.